The old saying that there are riches in niches is proving to be increasingly accurate. As consumers demand greater personalization, brands that meet those requests are seeing steady sales growth as well as healthy margins. In the past, brands grew their sales by trying to provide something for everyone. Today, that strategy is becoming increasingly unprofitable. New brands that focus on narrowly defined market segments are grabbing the high margin business, and those super narrow segments are showing great profit potential. Identify a consumer who is underserved and give them exactly what they are looking for, and you will be rewarded for your efforts. I'm Jane Singer, and welcome to A Seat at the Table. Each week, I sit down with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators, and authors who share their insights, expertise, experience, and vision for the future of business. This week, I sat down with Amy Lipton, founder and CEO of Spitfire Petites, which focuses on providing fashionable activewear for women golfers who wear petite sizes. Amy parlayed a successful marketing career in the tech sector into an equally successful role as fashion innovator. In this episode, she'll share how she positioned Spitfire Petites to compete and win in the hyper-competitive activewear sector. Before we get started, if you'd like to create winning knitwear collections, then Spin Expo is the place to go. It's the primary exhibition for yarns and knitwear. The fair is a rich resource featuring well-edited, high-quality collections as well as cutting-edge technical innovation, not to mention outstanding trend information that cannot be found anywhere else. You can learn more at spinexpo.com. That's www.spinexpo.com. There's also a link in the show notes. And check out our website. You can find all of the previous episodes of A Seat at the Table, the show notes, news about our upcoming masterclasses, and lots of other useful information. You can find it at seat.fm. That's www.seat.fm. FM because it's a podcast. Now let's find out how Amy built her fabulous fashion-driven activewear brand. Amy, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to hear about how you launched Spitfire Petites. Niche markets are becoming such a big thing with so much opportunity, and I'd really love to hear about what you're doing, how you got started, where you're going. So maybe start off by telling us a little bit about the concept behind Spitfire Petite.
I will. And our brand we go by is Amy Sport. We started the company about 5 years ago and launched in the spring 4 years ago. After I'm a golfer and I lead a very active lifestyle, and I am a little on the short side. I'm 5 foot tall, and okay. I found that I could never find fashionable clothes for my active lifestyle, for skiing, for playing golf, for other types of activities. And my background being in marketing, I did some market research and found that the market, the average height of an adult female in the United States is 5'4", which is shorter than most people would think. And most standard size clothing is made for someone who is between 5'4" and 6 foot tall. So as you can imagine, when I would buy clothes to do some of these, to run, to golf, everything was too big and too long. And the sleeves were too long. The length of a top was too long. The pants were too long. And so I could never find clothes to fit me to lead an athletic lifestyle. And after I did the research, I identified a gap in the market and made a decision to start a company to go after that market.
Wow, so impressive. It's not easy to start an apparel brand, and especially in the highly competitive activewear market. How did you grow the brand to where it is today?
As I said, we identified a gap in the market that had no product. And even though we believe that the market opportunity is huge, if you look at 330 million Americans, half of them are women. If the average height is 5'4", so 50% of that, and in the age range that we're looking at, It's a big market.
Yeah.
And even the number of women golfers in the United States. And I talk about golfers because when we launched the company, we started with tennis, golf, and activewear, and we doubled down on golf because it took off very quickly. It's a huge market. And with a Gap, there was really nothing you just couldn't find clothing for it. So I think that was obviously a key for us, is finding an area that was just not being fulfilled.
Basically, it was finding an area that hadn't been fulfilled, and then part of it was really focusing and niching down, not just on petites, not just on activewear petites, but on activewear petites for golfers.
That's correct. And our clothes are designed to be what we call course to cocktails. And so what that means is that while they are designed functionally to improve performance on the golf course, our fabrics are all technical performance fabrics. So they are four-way stretch, they're wicking, they're very breathable. They help you to keep cool when you're outside in the heat playing golf. We have built-in undershorts in all of our skirts. We have plenty of pockets so that you can put your tees and your balls. And on top of that, everything is UV protection, UV protected for at least 50 plus protection. And they're all very easy to care for. So we're very conscious of designing things to be functional for the golf course, but everything is also made to be very fashionable and also designed so that you could wear it from the course to cocktails afterwards. You can wear things to the grocery store. You can wear it to brunch on the weekend. You can wear it out to dinner on a Saturday night to a casual restaurant. So while everything is made and designed to be worn on the golf course, it's all designed to be worn beyond the golf course.
I think that's so great because you don't often find apparel that combines a fashion angle but also a real attention to functional detail. So often functional just means fabric that has some kind of a performance quality, but rarely does it go into the actual garment construction, as you were pointing out, by adding those undershorts, adding pockets. Consumers love pockets, and how often do you find pockets? Not so often, or pockets that are actually functional. And the UV protection and everything you've built in, you've really thought this out so carefully. I think it's terrific.
Thank you, Jane. I really appreciate you saying so.
One of the biggest challenges that people face in terms of launching a brand and getting it going is understanding how to market it, right? A lot of people are good at product development, but the marketing is also important in order to drive sales. Tell me about some of the things that you've done that you think have been particularly successful for you.
As I mentioned earlier, my background was in marketing. The early part of my career I spent at an international high-tech company, IBM. And so a lot of my background has actually been in digital marketing. And I am fortunate that I had that experience and I could bring that expertise to this company in a couple of ways. One, even in just launching the website, an e-commerce website, ensuring that it was very high quality, that there was a great customer experience when you got to the website. All of our photography was all done very professionally and very high quality. And so there was a lot of thought that went into not just the product, but actually the go-to-market strategy and ensuring that our customers have a great experience right from the product purchase, not just once they get out onto the golf course and have a great product to wear. So I think that's been very beneficial for us. And as I said, from point of purchase, from the time that they go to the website and look through our website, through delivery of a beautiful product, they get a superior experience to some other e-commerce websites. So I think that is one thing that was, very helpful for us in reaching the market and growing the business. Also, we initially launched with a presence on social media, on a lot of the major social media sites. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram and others, Pinterest and LinkedIn and Twitter. We have a strong social media presence, and I think that's also been very beneficial. Even in the past 5 years, the amount of traffic that comes to the website from those social media platforms has increased. The functionality of those platforms has increased. We're seeing more and more video on those platforms, and it's very easy for someone now to be able to make a purchase directly from those social media platforms without actually having to leave them and to go to the website. A strategy to have a really great presence on social media was another thing that we took into consideration, and another thing that we did when we launched the company. And then, of course, email marketing and Google advertising on the web, display advertising has also been part of our marketing strategy. We see a lot of traffic that comes in from search engines and directly from our email marketing campaigns that we do.
That's so interesting. It sounds simple when you describe it, but that's an awful lot. And I commend you for being able, in a relatively short amount of time, to be able to go from launching to having a very successful brand.
Thank you. And I'll add, while you say you make it sound simple, with background in that area, we launched that way. It was something that I had a lot of experience in. But I do know, even for others who may be launching a company who don't have that background and experience, I think it's really key, because it is a growing place for people to do their shopping and their online shopping, that someone partner with a company that does have that type of expertise, whether it's a small firm or an agency. I think it's really critical. And also because the technology to do that is changing so quickly. And we launched 5 years ago, and we launched 4 years ago, but started 5. And even in that small amount of time, it's amazing how quickly that technology changes. And I'm busy doing other things now. For me, it's even a challenge to keep up with how quickly that technology is changing. But it is critical, and it is key to success of any business today.
Oh, absolutely. It's just remarkable what you can do online in terms of actually driving sales. And like you said, the technology and the new opportunities through various apps and so forth is just incredible. And I think that you were, when we were talking before, you were saying that you also have an offline distribution.
Yes, one of our channels to market is actually through high-end private and public golf courses and boutiques and resorts. We have sales reps around the country who market directly to those types of clubs, and we've been very successful in growing very fast, even more this year, because golf has become a very fast growing industry. During the pandemic last year, it was one of the few things that people could actually continue to do. It's an outdoor activity with wide open space, and golf actually saw tremendous growth last year. And that pro shops where people could shop may have been closed down for a portion of the time. People were still golfing. And so now that things are open back up again here in the United States, especially, the clubs are really seeing huge growth in the amount of rounds of golf that are being played and in their sales. So we do sell through those types of clubs as well, and that's been really great for us.
That's such a great strategy, because you're putting the product exactly where the customer is.
Exactly.
So when you're looking at everything that you have achieved so far, and of course what you're looking to do, what's the biggest challenge?
I think one of the challenges we face is that petites had not been around for a while. We say we fit very comfortably someone who is 5 foot to 5'6". However, because of the nature of the stretch fabrics, and because every woman's body is different. I've seen our line on women who are 5'8" and maybe short waisted, but have long legs and love to wear our things. because proportionally, it's not just about where the hemline is. It's about how big the armhole is, and making sure that when your armhole is not so long that your undergarments are showing on the side. It's about where the natural waistline hits you. It's about where the zipper comes to. It's about all of the proportions for the clothes, and are designed that way from the beginning, as well as where the break in the knee is, where the rise goes to. There's a lot of design that goes into the fit to make the fit absolutely perfect right from the beginning, in addition to the styles. So while we're high fashion brand, in addition, to the technical performance aspects of the garments, we also design things to look good on someone's body who is maybe a little bit shorter. And there are certain things that are just hard for someone to pull off if they're 6 foot tall. And so we take all of those things into consideration. But because they haven't been around for a long time, a lot of people think when you say petite, that means it's just for a size 0. And that's not what our brand is. We do manufacture size double XS through extra large in all of our garments. And while the height proportion is designed specifically for someone petite, we do fit all sizes. I think that educating the market about what an actual petite is probably our biggest challenge. But we're finding that once people understand it, they love the clothes, they love the quality, they love our fabrics. Our fabrics are all exceptional and very high quality. They are designed to last for a long time. You can wash them. You'll own these clothes for a long time. They won't fall apart after a year of wearing them on the golf course.
That's a really interesting point. And I hadn't thought of that either. Because when you think about petites, you really do think about a person who's not only short, you think of that kind of very tiny person. And I think it's interesting that you point out that actually it's more about height and it's about body proportions, but it doesn't necessarily mean somebody who's slim. You could be curvy and also petite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our fit model is very curvy. And you'll see, we have a model on our website, and we also have folks, our customers, you'll see also. But one of our models is 5'8", and she looks fabulous in the clothes. They fit her beautifully. I have a very dear friend who's actually 5'10", and she wears my clothes all the time. Wow. The reverse is harder. If I go into a store and I shop online for a brand, and if the sleeves are 2 or 3 inches too long for my arms, especially in golf, you don't want your sleeves to be wrapped around the grip of your golf club, and you don't want to be standing like pulling those sleeves up the whole time. And it's very expensive and time consuming to have alterations done, especially on something like that. And technical fabrics, sometimes people don't realize that when you take something like that, it's special. You need special equipment to work on those types of fabrics. They stretch when they're being sewn, and somebody not only has to have the right type of equipment with, their sewing machine, but they also need to have the expertise to be able to use it. And if you take a top that's made out of a performance fabric to someone to alter them, if they don't have the right equipment, it comes back and it just looks terrible. It's not as easy as it sounds, and it's not as simple of an activity to do. So it's really something to consider. It really does alter the garment when you take something to have it altered.
That's so true. And I think that you don't really realize how difficult it is, like you said, to work with those kind of fabrics until you've actually tried to sit down and do it. Yeah, so the fact that by being able to get garments that actually fit you and being able to avoid alterations is a huge win, particularly in this kind of a garment.
Absolutely.
So what's next for Spitfire Petites? What can we look forward to?
Thanks for asking, Jane. We are loving what we're seeing with the overwhelming positive response to our beautiful, unique floral designs. We just launched a collection called Into the Mystic, which was a blue and gray camo and blue and gray kind of tie-dye, splashy tie-dye print that was extremely well received, and we sold out of it very quickly. And so we're, really happy about what we're seeing there. We have some really beautiful new designs coming out for fall. We have some new florals, exclusive prints that we have coming out. We're coming out with something in the fall that's plaid, in a red plaid and a green plaid. And we have a couple of monochrome leopard prints that we're coming out with in the fall as well. So we have some really exciting prints that are in the pipeline. We are actually going to launch a design that we're doing in collaboration with a graphic artist from Los Angeles, who we have started working with. We're really excited about that. And I'll just leave that as a little teaser, because we want to wait until we start talking about who that is and what she's going to be doing. And then we're also going to be launching a couture line, which will actually be some additional higher end pieces. That one of them is actually a skirt that's going to be in a beautiful faux leather fabric, vegan leather. That's a fabric from Japan. One of the things that's very special about it is that this particular fabric actually it's made so that the fabric is very supple and very soft. It almost, you can't tell that it's not real leather, but it does have all the performance qualities. It's stretch, it's breathable, it's wicking. It'll be very comfortable to wear. We're coming out with a quilted vest that is a little bit longer and oversized, that is an amazing, gorgeous fabric from France and has all vegan leather trim on it. And we're also coming out with a pair of pants for the golf course that are designed with our original design, and those are going to be in a faux suede. So we're really excited about those things, as you can imagine. And I can't wait to be showing them and having them available for people to purchase on our site.
You have to share your web address with us, because I think I'm excited to see what you're doing on these new collections.
Sure. So our site is www.amysport.com, and our new collection, Brighten My Day, and our classic collection, which is going to be an in-stock collection that'll always be available, are both launching. They're on the website already. They start shipping actually the end of this week, so that's pretty exciting for us. And so they're available for pre-order, but it's not going to be a very long time before they'll be shipping. The Brighten My Day collection is a gorgeous hydrangea print that's actually in yellow and gray, which are the colors of the year for 2021. You've probably seen a lot of yellow and gray in prints. And our classic collection, which actually features a print, it's navy and red and white, so perfect for launching right before 4th of July in the US.
Wow. I'm going to definitely have the link to your website in the show notes. People can also find it there if they weren't able to catch it during the podcast. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's been so exciting to hear about what you're doing and the fact that you've identified this niche market. I am also a petite, and so I 100% understand how difficult it is to find clothing that fits, and the whole thing with alterations. I think it's been just terrific to see your progress, and I'm looking forward to seeing your new collections.
Awesome, Jane. Thank you so much for inviting me. It really is a pleasure getting to know you and for having me on your podcast today.
If you enjoyed this episode of A Seat at the Table, join me each week when I sit down with leading executives, entrepreneurs, educators, and authors who share their insights, experiences, and vision for the future of business. And make sure you visit Spin Expo. From trend information to technical innovation, Spin Expo is the primary exhibition for yarns and knitwear. The fair provides well-edited forums featuring high-quality products that are bursting with creativity. To learn more, go to spinexpo.com. That's www.spinexpo.com. You can also find a link in the show notes for this episode. Before you go, if you're looking for a concise view of key shifts, opportunities, and risks in global sourcing, then check out the current situation in sourcing. You'll find a link in the show notes. And don't forget to check out our podcast website, where you can find all of the previous episodes of A Seat at the Table, the show notes, news about our upcoming masterclass series, and lots of other useful information. You can find it at seat.fm. That's www.seat.fm. FM because it's a podcast. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Jane Singer, and I'll see you in the next podcast episode.